Okay, guys. So please don't forget to turn your cameras on. Okay, guys. So what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna practice the writing section. On Friday, we finished seeing the theory for the first question of the writing section, right? Which was the integrated writing. Do you guys remember how many questions we have in the writing section? Does anyone remember? There are two questions in the writing section, right? We have the integrated question, and we have the writing for an academic debate, which is the second task. And we did the integrated writing so far, right? This is what we were doing on Thursday, Friday. And today we're gonna finish working on the integrated writing. We're gonna do our final practice so that you guys, so that we can see the second writing task tomorrow. Okay, guys? So, do you have any questions before we start? You should have access to this presentation. Do you all have access to the presentation? Yep. Okay, in any case, I'm gonna send you guys the link again. Okay. And the template for the integrated writing is here because we finished the essay, right, on Friday, I think it was. So remember we said, for this integrated writing, what you have to do first is read an academic article. In the article, in the introduction, the first paragraph, you always have the main idea. And then in the next paragraphs, you have three different arguments supporting that main idea, we said. And then you needed to listen to the lecture. So you needed to listen to the lecture where the professor basically objects to everything that the author said in the article, right? The professor says the exact opposite he said. And the professor responds to those points that were mentioned in the reading. So this was the template. You have it here. And I think there are some templates that are empty. Although I don't know if this is completely correct. Make some corrections. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna send you guys our practice for today, and I will give you, well, 20 minutes aside from reading and listening so that you can write your essays, and then we'll take a look at them. But you're gonna send them to me through my mail so that I can send it back with some feedback. Okay, guys? But let's see. This is the template. I'm gonna paste it here. Okay. Okay, guys. So please, I just sent you the link to this document. Can you guys open it, please? Were you all able to open the document?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Is there anyone who's having problems opening this document? Okay, thanks. Then this is the reading, okay? It will be on my screen, but you can also read at your own pace. You have access to the document. It's below the word passage. Remember that you have 3 minutes to read. So starting now, you will have 3 minutes to read the text. Okay, guys, so time's up. Remember that you still continue reading even when you're writing the essay, right? So now I'm going to play the lecture for you all. Please pay attention and take notes.
Now listen to part of a lecture on the topic you just read about.
The claims that the burning mirror would have been impractical and technologically impossible are unconvincing. First, the Greeks did not need to form a single sheet of copper to make a large burning mirror. An experiment has shown that dozens of small, individually flat pieces of polished copper could be arranged into a parabolic shape and form a large burning mirror. The Greek mathematicians knew the properties of the parabola and so could have directed the assembly of many small mirror pieces into the parabolic shape. Second, about how long it would take to set a ship on fire with a burning mirror. The experiment the reading selection mentions assumes that the burning mirror was used to set the wood of the boat on fire. That's what takes 10 minutes. But the Roman boats were not made just of wood. There were other materials involved as well. For example, to seal the spaces between wooden boards and make them waterproof, the ancient boat builders used a sticky substance called pitch. Pitch catches fire very quickly, and experiments showed that pitch could be set on fire by a burning mirror in seconds. And once the pitch was burning, the fire would spread to the wood, even if the ship was moving. So a burning mirror could have worked quickly enough to be an effective weapon. Third, why bother with a burning mirror instead of flaming arrows? Well, Roman soldiers were familiar with flaming arrows and would have been watching for them and were ready to put out the fires they might cause. But you cannot see the burning rays from a mirror. You just see the mirror. But then suddenly and magically a fire starts at some unobserved place on the ship. That would have been much more surprising and therefore much more effective than a flaming arrow.
Summarize the points made in the lecture, being sure to explain how they challenge the specific points made in the reading passage.
Okay. Okay, guys. So now that was the question. You have the template here in this document. So I'm going to ask you all to please create a copy of the document. I don't think you're able to, but either way, what you guys have to do is click on this part here and then go to File, Create a Copy. Okay, and that way you will create your own copy of the file so that you can, okay, let me make you guys editors because I don't know if you can. Okay, let me know if you are able to create the copies. Were you able to do it?
Yes, miss.
Okay, guys, so please everybody create a copy and write down your name. I mean, you don't have to keep it this way. As long as your name is there, it's okay, whatever else you want. And then you need to start writing the essay. You have the template here, you have your notes, you have the text. You will have exactly 20 minutes to write the essay, starting now. And I'm gonna be right here if you have questions. I'm probably gonna mute myself, but I'll be here. So if you got questions, just let me know. Okay, guys? So please start writing your essays now. We'll have until 7:50, right? No, 40, 7:40, 20 minutes. Okay, guys, so time's up. Please, if you could send me your essays. Maybe you can send the link to your documents here so we can see it. Are you guys there? Can you please send me your essays? Okay. So we have Louis' essays. Let's see. This is the only one that's actually sent me. So let's take a look. Okay, I see that you were not able to finish, but let's check what we have. So your introduction, it says both the article and lecture discuss the practical Roman weapon, the burning mirror. Okay, good. It is true that the topic is the burning mirror, right? The topic of this text was burning mirrors. But one tip that I can give you is try not to give your own personal opinion. When you say that they discuss the impractical Roman weapon, it sounds like you're taking a side, right? Because in the introduction here, they don't say anything about whether it's impractical or not. In this first sentence of your introduction, what you guys need to do is be completely neutral. So you will have to say both the article and lecture discuss the Roman weapon called burning mirror, for example, And then you can maybe give some context as to what this weapon was like or something like that. For example, you could say, discuss the burning mirror, an ingenious weapon, maybe because that's what they say, right? An ingenious weapon that the Greeks used to defend themselves, right? Or maybe you can maybe be more technical and say a polished copper surface curved to focus the sun's rays onto Roman ships. But paraphrasing it, right? It's better not to take any sides. Then we have the reading extract claims that these weapons were not technologically advanced enough to make this thing, and technology for manufacturing these weapons did not exist in the ancient world. Okay, good, I like that. So the reading extract claims that these weapons were not technologically advanced enough. I think maybe what you mean is that the Greeks were not technologically advanced enough to make the weapon, right? Another tip that I can give you all is try not to use words like things, things like that, some things, everything, anything. It's always better to be specific. So instead of saying this thing, you could say this weapon, this tool, something like that. Careful with punctuation too. Remember that before the word and, when it's joining two independent clauses, you need to use a comma. Comma and technology for manufacturing these weapons did not exist in the ancient world. Okay, good. So even though I like what you're saying here, I think maybe you want to just use one of the ideas because both of them are too similar and they may appear redundant. Because here you're not saying that you're saying that they weren't technologically advanced enough. And the second part, you're kind of saying the same, right? The technology for manufacturing these weapons did not exist. So it's too similar. I would maybe change that and leave it just for one idea. And provides three arguments of support. However, the professor argues. Okay, one thing that I actually didn't notice is that this is your introduction, right? So I am thinking, I don't know, for some reason I thought that this was your first body paragraph. Maybe because everything has to be in the same paragraph. You can't leave any blank spaces here. You can mention this in your introduction. What you're saying here, that they didn't have the technology to build this weapon, was the first point from the first body paragraph here, right? That they were not technologically advanced enough. You can't, in your introduction, you can't use any of these ideas that you have in the body of the article or in the body of the lecture. What you would have to say here is the main opinion of the author, which in this case, what is the main opinion of the author in this case, you guys?
The Greeks never built these weapons.
Okay, so yes, that's the author's opinion, right? That this weapon actually did not exist. That is just a myth. So yes, exactly that. That is what you would have to say in your introduction. You would have to say the reading extract claims that this weapon actually did not exist, that the Greeks never created this weapon, that is just a myth, and provides three arguments of support. Because that's what the reading does, right? The reading is trying to prove that this weapon never existed or that it was just a myth. That is the main opinion that is in the introduction. And then in the body paragraphs, you have three reasons or three arguments that support that opinion, right? That are trying to somehow prove that that's true. So that is what you have to have in your introduction. The main opinion from the author, and then contrast that with the main opinion from the professor. So you would have to say, however, the professor argues that. And what was the professor's opinion? What was the professor's opinion? Anybody knows? the professor says the opposite, right? The professor always says the opposite of the reading. So if the reading says that this weapon was never created, that it never existed, the professor will say that it did exist, right? That the professor says that these arguments that the author gives are not convincing, that this weapon actually existed, right? They always have differing opposing views. So you would have to say, however, the professor argues that this weapon indeed existed and was created and built by Romans, for example, right? But it has to be something like that. And then you have your first body paragraph, good. The article starts by stating that technology for these periods was not advanced, great. And to manufacture these weapons, they needed to make a very precise parabolic curvature. Okay, the content is perfect. You are using indeed the first argument, which was about technology. Maybe I would suggest that you're careful with the grammar part. Don't forget to conjugate the tenses correctly. If this is in the past, these weapons needed to have a very precise parabolic curvature. Don't forget punctuation also, but it's good. One sentence for the reading, right? Perfect. And then you need to contrast that with the professor's opinion. So you would have to say, nevertheless, in the presentation, it's noted that, and the professor says that they did have the technology, right? That they already knew the properties of the parabola, that I think that they didn't need to create like one single piece of mirror to create a burning mirror, but they could have like put a lot of small mirror pieces together, and that could have formed the burning mirror, right? So the professor says that they didn't really need much technology to create this weapon, and that they already knew the properties of the parabola, so it was easy for them to make this weapon. And then you have to do the same for the other ones, right? One thing that I'm noticing here, Luis, is that you're not going in order, right? Because you left some blank spaces here, and then you went to the first body paragraph. Then you left the professor's part here, and you went to the second body paragraph. So why is that? Are you there?
Yes, I think I'm right. Only I remember the important points, and that's why I write in other parts, not in order.
Okay, good. So yeah, it's fine, but what I would suggest is that even if you don't remember some parts, for example, let's say that you really don't remember here what the professor said exactly, you know a little bit of the structure, right? You know that the professor's always going to say the opposite of the reading. So try to feel the template, try to say something, even if it's not in the same professor's words, but say something. So however, the professor argues that this is not true, for example, right? But try to complete your sentences, because what happens if you run out of time and you leave it like this, like it happened right now, right? You ran out of time. It's better if you guys, I mean, obviously it's not advisable to run out of time, right? But if you are, or if you were for some reason, if you're gonna run out of time, then it's better that they don't see something like this, that they can see that you ran out of time, that it wasn't because you didn't understand certain parts. So it's better to complete everything in the correct order. Okay, even if you don't remember a few parts, try to somehow hide it. For example, here you don't remember what the professor says, just say the opposite of the reading. However, the professor argues that this weapon did exist. And you can do the same here. Even though you don't remember the details, you can just say, nevertheless, in the presentation, it's noted that the Greeks were did have the technology to build the burning mirror, right? I'm just saying the opposite of what I had in the reading. I'm not saying anything new. Even if you have something like that, it's better than not having anything and leaving those blank spaces. Okay, that's one tip that I can give you. So is that okay? Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Okay, guys. So what we're gonna do is you have the instructions here, right? These are the instructions. According to these instructions, you only have 20 minutes to write yes, and that's how it's actually gonna be. Simulated test. However, what we're gonna do is you guys can continue writing your essays, no problem, but I need you to make 2 copies, okay? So what I want you guys to do is, let's say that you just wrote, I don't know, let's say that this is your essay, okay? You didn't finish, you wrote whatever you have. What I want you guys to do now is to copy that exactly the way it is, don't change anything, and paste it below, okay? And why are you gonna do that? Because I want you to continue completing your essay. So in this second part, in this second version that you just pasted from your original essay, you can continue editing. So you can continue writing, change whatever you want to change, correct the grammar, correct everything you want. But please don't touch the essay that you wrote so far. Leave it the way it is, and you can continue writing the essay on another page, right? Or on the same page if you want, but in a different part, so that you have 2 versions. The version that you have now, which is the one that you were able to write in your 20 minutes, and the new corrected version that you can write in, I mean, whatever time you need, right? Is that okay? Do you guys get the idea?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So please do that. And I will send you the instructions via WhatsApp. Maybe I can do that right now, because I need you guys to send this essay to to the mail of the company. So I'm sending you all the instructions, and I will send you the link to this document in case you guys wanna, or maybe somebody missed the path. So, okay, and the deadline is gonna be, today's Tuesday. Let's set it for Thursday. Okay, no, let's do it for tomorrow, because it's just, you just need to correct, right? So it's gonna be 10 more minutes, I guess. So it's gonna be tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 9th. Okay. I just sent you guys instructions. I'm gonna send you the link to this document as well. You have the mail there. So please send your essays, your corrected version, and the one that you were able to write until now to this mail, and I will be sending your essays back with feedback. Okay, with detailed feedback as to what you need to work on. Is that okay? Do you guys have any questions before we go today? Okay, guys, perfect. And please don't forget today's daily survey. And that'll be it for today. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow in class.
Bye, miss.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye bye.